I say there's two types of poverty. There's poverty you don't have money, and there's poverty of the mind. Because the issue they call devil, that is not the same. Nigeria is like circus show. Kini English eru. Ironi. Kiwani wafa. The way we behave, the way we think. What's a program, eh?
My name is Jahbless. My guest is Ola, and he's a big fan of the show. He has seen every episode, and each time he reached out to me and told me, he gives me some very deep insights about life, about women is a big one. Women, he tell me, Papa, the problem is all these women, they don't understand. I'm like, so when you told me you were coming to Nigeria, I was so excited. I was like, no, I need to sit with you. I need to sit with you because you're a very interesting guy. And the things you tell me, sometimes I just go to our DMs and I'll read my conversation with you. I'll be like, great point.
Wow.
I use so many of your points, even when talking to my guest. Some things that you tell me, I just ask them. They'll tell me their views. I was like, the same thing Ola told me. So
Wow, it's a privilege. Thank you very much for having me.
But he's now funny. The funny or the craziest thing that shocked me, since we met a couple of hours ago, is you said you've never been high. Like me.
For me, probably is the way I grew up, like. So my story, have you seen City of God?
Yes. That's the movie with the 3 Mexican guys, right?
No, it's a movie shot in favela in Brazil. That became really. So
I don't remember what the story is about, but I know I've seen City of God. Yeah.
So I grew up. That was my story in Ibadan.
Refresh me.
Okay. Yeah. So there's this kind of ghetto in that movie, where these young people were trying to just create a life for themselves, and with different characters, having a dream. There's the gangster side of it.
Yeah.
There's the lover side of it. There's the innocent one that just want to be part of a group, just to have that street cred, and then became the whole story became really bad. And there's the main character that was a child, a very young boy, that when the big boys are talking, they slap him. I was that boy.
Oh yeah.
I was that boy with my uncles, and because I was born in Ibadan, grew up in Ibadan, and at a stage very early, my mom and my dad had to go separate ways. So I was dumped with my mom's parents. So my grandfather was a staff in University of Ibadan. So staff quarters is called Abadina.
Abadina, yeah, I know Abadina, yeah.
So Abadina is my city of God.
Okay, I get
so
it.
I'm one of those children that no one in the family wanted to take responsibility for, to raise or to leave. Some tried. At the point, they just have to let me go. And every time I come back to my parents, my grandmother, my mom's mother, would say, let him come and live with us. So all other grandchildren will come to my grandparents' place in Abadina for holidays. 2-3 days, they will fall sick. But I happen to be the only grandchild that does not.
Okay.
Because everything is Ibile.
From herbs to food.
Till date,
it's organic.
For me to take a tablet, I have to put it in Eba, swallow. And till my grandmother still says she's alive, I'm going to see her soon in Ibadan. So she says, when she sees me now, she hugs me look into my eyes and she will cry. She will say, it's tears of joy.
Yeah.
I'm that one of the children that Toman fi iborun ran shokoto fun.
Wow.
So my prayer is that I can go back. I'm thinking of putting the story together as in like a movie to raise funds, go there, healthcare, a bit of support, education, and all of that.
For Aberdeen.
Because every time I come to Nigeria, I go to Aberdeen. They just drive me through. I stop by, go to my school, I have pictures every time. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Because that place, oh my God.
So what exactly is it for you about the place? Apart from growing up there, like everything you learned about life was from
there. As a child, I saw so many things that was in this time is abuse, but because of some people around me, I was able to kind of like discuss it with one or two people, and because most of the children there, we were all like, oh, yati baba osikpomo, so just go and dump them with the grandparents.
Yeah.
So we were all children that doesn't even have a clue of what.
But that's a tough place. So 10, 12, 15 years ago, Aberdeen is a tough place, especially when it comes to cultism and things like that. In UI, Aberdeen is a hub.
I heard when I left Nigeria about what you are talking about is what I heard outside of Nigeria, but I never saw it.
Oh, okay.
I had some situations that when I heard, I was able to link it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That
was it.
Because I'll tell you one, very early in the morning, 5 a.m., because there's this fruit, we call it fruit. Oh man, the almond fruit, go.
Yeah.
So, man drop. To drop. So, first to wake, I'm a gbe ike oda. I'm a sahi loko laro. So that wa shon to ba tin lo school, wa ta fa won re no school. Nkan to ma fi jẹun niyen break. So, mo jí láàárọ̀ ọjọ́ yẹn, mo jí lọ kó. Tí mo ṣe ń padà wọnúlé, coming back into the house, I saw one of my friends' neighbor. She was like falling. And all I could hear her say is, Mama, Jaja. Jaja is a very popular hospital for staff. So all I heard was Igbo, Mama Jaja, Mama Jaja, Mama Jaja. But I could see traces of blood. So I dropped the whole fruit, ran and knocked at the door. They came out, they saw her, they picked her up and all. So there was gist after school, coming back home that, that was it was later I realized that she was raped. Yes. So there were so many things I saw that, but as a child,
as a kid,
they don't make sense. And I never saw it as abuse. It registered as a child, like my imagination, I could remember, but so many things. But it was later, like, oh.
But how do you grow in a place like Aberdeen, and before leaving Aberdeen, you never go high?
I never saw.
I must give it to your grandparents. They must be great, really great.
My grandfather was a smoker.
Okay.
Was a smoker, so I'm the one that Laura St. Maurice were. Oh yeah, light it.
Oh yeah.
But I never liked the smell. And my uncles, we all lived in a bedroom and a parlor. So we're about 5 sleeping in the parlor, and my grandfather and sleep in the bedroom. But I never liked it. Even sometimes as a child, I wake up coughing.
Yeah.
Because my uncles,
because
they were smoking while I was there.
Cigarette.
Cigarette.
Yeah.
So I kind of a secondary smoker.
Yeah.
But the only time I tried it was my cousins. They came for, because my grandparents are Muslim, so they came for maybe Leia or something, and they were trying it. So we all went into this uncompleted building. So they were having puff. So I had one.
Of cigarette or weed?
Cigarette.
Oh, cigarette.
I had one, and Then I didn't know what happened. Then hours later, I woke up. I was on the floor because I passed out and they ran away.
Nicotine rush.
So I passed out, and ever since then, you never see me near. Although I want to try cigar. Actually, I was thinking about it a few weeks ago.
Like
The
normal
Cuban
cigar.
cigar.
But those are just tobacco. It doesn't really do much.
But if I can, I don't mind. But with the weed, I don't think.
But you being an healthcare expert, right? And you've been doing it for years, right? But I'm sure you must have seen different articles and experience about people that smoke weed, that it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Definitely. And I've seen the other side of it as well.
Yeah, we all know it has. For some people, that's very bad side effect. We cannot deny that. But just that the percentage of people that have the bad experience, you can compare it with people. One thing I've noticed about when it comes to weed and all these things is that the way the media portrays it, right? They've already created a particular kind of stigma to it. So, you know, they'll tell you, rimufuni. You get, but the truth is, it's not the Igbo logic aye mufu baje. Aye mufu fe baje normally.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you, Igbo logic aye mufu baje. Aye mufu did decide lati baje normally.
Sorry to the mufu.
Sorry, shout out to mufu if you're out there. Okay, but sincerely, it is not, because when you, like I said, especially reading. When you read a whole lot, that is when you get to know that, so many things that we think were norm were actually because of some people in the old days created rules based on their own interest, things that we protect, secure their investment. Weed is a particular example, right? It's actually a paper mill, right? There is a media company, this is in the US now. There's a media company that does paper mill, right? Now, a new discovery came up. They realized they could make papers from weed, from the weed leaf. The texture, they could actually make papers from it. And the texture of the paper is actually better than what they made from trees. Okay. Right? Now, this person in charge of that mill felt like this is going to be a competition to their market, which will probably kill their own market, right? And because they have the media power, because it's a media company, right, they now tagged weed with another drug in Mexico called marijuana. Weed is not marijuana.
Wow.
They tag it because marijuana was killing people in Mexico. So the only way they could make their propaganda work at that time was to tag it together, so they made it illegal, right? But this same, after maybe 100 years after, like now people started getting back to those history and saying that, so this is what they don't want you to know. Now they understand that it treats people of PTSD, you know.
It has always been doing, and because I work in mental health, that's what I've been doing in mental health, like psychiatry. So you know, I've worked in different hospitals, name it, like, you know, the worst. I've sat down with the crazy pedophiles of this world while working, just to hear them tell me their story. Although once in a while they sometimes try to make it make sense, kind of, you know. And I've been fortunate enough to also understand the politics of pedophilia as well, and the history of pedophilia.
What exactly is that?
Now,
I mean, you've sat with some of them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you think it's a brain?
No.
Is a mind?
Yes, it's
something is wrong somewhere.
No, something is not wrong somewhere. No, let's just clear that out.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It is like me wanting jollof rice. You know, there's a different, when you go to the restaurant here and have jollof rice, the taste is jollof rice, but it's not firewood jollof rice.
Yes.
So a normal, me and you will say normal, but to them is normal. What they want is, they want to express their sexual desires with the choice of the age bracket that they want. And the history goes back to the I'm going to say like
Catholic Church.
Oh, that's not
the history.
Britain. Yes. Like the royal family. It's not new. Yeah. You know, in Yoruba land, when you have a visitor.
Jẹ́ ká sọ Yorùbá. Ṣé pé ọ̀dọ̀ wọn ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀?
Ọ̀dọ̀ wọn ni.
Púpọ̀ nǹkan tèmi ti kà àwọn kí ló máa ń pè wọ́n náà alàgbà ní church catholic àwọn gangan ni wọ́n ní kíní yẹn lọ́wọ́ gan.
Ibi tí yẹn ti wá is the Greek lifestyle, because don't forget the Greek colonized Britain at a point.
Yeah, I know that.
So there is a part of London that they built. You know, part of Ikoyi was before the old Lagos. Part of all this VI were saturated with expatriates, like that represented the coin. That's where they live. So there's a part of London till now. It's called Britannia, where buildings built then, they are rep from Greece, were residing.
Okay.
So the way we took independence from Britain was the same way Britain had to fight a war to come out of the shackles of the hands of the Greek.
From Greece?
Yeah, from yeah.
Wow.
They were there. They were live. They were living there.
Wow.
So a lot of things that we don't get. See, the miseducation of the black man is actually one of the worst things that has ever happened to black people on this planet of Earth.
Yeah.
Because right now, it's two sides. Ẹ̀kọ́ ilé wà, ẹ̀kọ́ ilé ìwé wà. We need to separate the two. But what we
there's what you're saying is there's education and there's school education.
Thank you. Now, tọ́nba tí Yorùbá sọ pé ọmọ yẹn ò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, wọn ò ní pé ó dumb pé
kò lọ school. It's different. Yeah. Tọ́nba ní kò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kò ní home training.
Thank you very much. So that home training, we had it in like Yoruba. It's called the philosophy of Omoluabi. So not until about a few years ago, I started to listen to some discussion, especially on Clubhouse. I'll mention about 3 names. Shout out to Arekunrumi. Shout out to Obìnrin Akanse. And shout out to Valor Akinkoju.
Are these people in Nigeria?
They all live outside Nigeria. So on Clubhouse, there is a platform.
Yeah, I know Clubhouse.
There's a platform called, I'll remember.
Yeah.
It is Yoruba.
Yeah.
It's not Yoruba Nation. It is Yoruba First.
Yoruba First.
Yeah, I think something like that. I'll check. I'll confirm. And I started listening to discussions about the history that was intentionally omitted, kept away from us. Because right now, the percentage and the amount of money Nigerians, especially Nigerians, spend to go abroad, to go to the abroad, to go and study PhD, masters and everything. If you look at it holistically in all areas, is benefiting that area. And what we are doing is actually elevating the white supremacy. And this was not, it's not wickedness. It's not, it's like a project management. They've sat down to look at 100 years till now. What do we want the rest of the world? How do we want the rest of the world to see us?
God bless you.
How do we want? And How do we want our offsprings yet unborn to see themselves? We want to create an identity.
Wow. You know that this thing that you just said now, yeah, I say all the time on this show. I know you must have heard it. I tell people that, listen, sometimes the problem of Africa is beyond Africans' understanding. Even Africans, they don't actually understand what the problem of Africa is. A whole lot of people put all the blame on the bad leaders. The leaders are bad. Yeah, I know, they are bad. You get? But sometimes if you look at these leaders, these so-called leaders, many of them, they've been out there. They know how things work.
Yes.
Out there. But when they come here, right, they don't have the zeal to fix anything or to make this work. And the reason is there are some external forces that is making them think like that. And it's not just what they started today. It's been brainwashing of years and years and years. And I tell people, I said, okay, listen, my last trip in London, I was hanging out with some couple of friends. And I was like, if Nigeria is good today, will you go back? I said, what am I doing here? If Nigeria is good today, will you go back? I said, why won't I go back? About 6 of them. Everybody wants to go back. But I said, but can you go back to Nigeria the way it is now? They say, you want to make Boko Haram kill me? You want to da. But I was like, okay, why do you think Nigeria would be great when all of you are here helping this economy, making things work here, right? Do you actually think the people that gives you this so-called visa to come here and do this work will want you to fix your country? Because I understand that from Brexit, UK is suffering.
I won't use the word suffering.
Maybe not the right word, but the labor forces was declining when Brexit happened. The UK economy felt it because the labor forces reduced. Maybe I'm wrong. But that was the insight of what I got when I was there.
Now, you've mentioned two things. You said the labor and the economy.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about me, economy is economics is one of my favorite, not as a subject in school in terms of education, but in trying to,
in reality,
to delete emotions, to delete emotions from issues that I'm dealing with. For me, it's about demand and supply. For me, if it's numbers is not emotional. It is what it is. So if there's no demand, there won't be supply. So part of what I told you, what I just mentioned now about how the British sat down to create a nation, a sovereignty that the rest of the world, especially, let me use economically now, pound sterling, it was intentional.
Absolutely.
Pure intentional. Because nothing on the global market works without that currency. There's a reason why. Now, okay, this guy, Damian Marley, he said something in one of his recent albums. He said, the slave mill keeps running.
I've heard that one.
The slave mill
Is
still running. I'm a big Damian fan. I love him.
He said the slave mill
Keeps running.
he said the slave mill is working slow, but it's still working still. So it's for us to think that the slavery approach is slow.
Still very much alive.
But our problem should be, it's working slow, but it should have stopped. It should have stopped.
It's grinding slow, but it's grinding still.
Thank you very much. That's how I put it. So
it's grinding slow,
but it's grinding still. Olamide, shout out to Olamide Bado. He posted it that time. I'm like, I'm a Damien Marley fan. What is that? I went back to it. I listened to it. I'm like, oh, this is what it means.
But that is for real. Do you actually know that until like last year, I didn't even know that in Jamaica, the Queen still hates them. That's yeah.
No, sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Who is the head here?
The Queen in Nigeria.
Who do you think it is? Sorry, sir. Oh, you haven't really looked at it that way.
But there's something I saw, right? There's something I saw. I bought Dettol. There's this antiseptic.
You saw the emblem on it.
The emblem on
Majesty.
it. They said to
Her Majesty. So there are some products in England.
There are some products you even buy in Nigeria that you still pay tax.
That's the Nigerian breweries that Burnaboy was talking about on his album.
So,
Still making their money from here because they are
so there are so many things. Now, Baba, I'm going to like go. But they are okay, let's look at it this way. You have a friend. You guys have a business idea. You have a business plan. But your business, to execute it, you need something from me. Both of you need something from me. And what you need from me is that you want me to join my resources to be part of that business proposition that you both of you have. Now, when you guys met, I wasn't there. Your business plan, everything is done. Now you've invited me to be part of it. And you've told me that the reason why we're inviting you is because of my resources. Now, I have two options. When I meet with you, you've invited me. Is either I come to you guys, you pitch, because you need my resources. Then I can tell you I can go away, think about it, and then come back to you and negotiate. So I've come back to you now, and I've agreed to join my resources to be part of it.
It has, yeah.
Now, you and your friend, Britain is the friend.
Okay.
You are the northern part of Nigeria. I am the southern part of Nigeria. So when we sit down, before I make that agreement, if I lose my power of negotiations there, then that means you guys have the power to decide
if we want you or not.
Or while my resources is part of that business plan, you guys own it. You guys own it. Because I didn't negotiate properly. Okay, I'm part of it now. I'm fed up. I don't like whatever the business is not favoring me. Holistically, like in every way.
Yeah.
What do I need to do? Don't forget, I still own it. So what I need to do now is to go back and recreate with whatever is left that I have. So if South is always screaming about the northern people, the North has made it clear, you guys are not going anywhere because we need what you have.
Come to think of it, is it dry land?
So why do
Right?
I? So why? Okay, fine. Okay, why don't I go back to what I have left and recreate, reproduce, like?
But how can you do that?
It's very easy. The moment the South takes their eyes off what the power dragging is distraction now. Everything, our political system is distraction. Our politics in Nigeria right now, every 4 years, is like Olympics. Everybody will come, depending on which area, if you can afford the form, you have enough backup, another 4 years, it will happen again. So if we are truly fed up, we need to come back to the South and make the South what we want. Britain does not call you. They will never call the Asian community to say, we want something from you. The Asian community always build what they want. They will go from the top to the ministers, down to the ones that cannot speak English in UK, that is a cab driver or that owns a shop selling banana. Everybody will contribute to build that mosque, that place of worship. But when they now bring the plan out, they will have their money. Then you see the governments in UK saying, can we be of help? Do you see that idea? Mm-hmm. Here is the other way. Yorùbá ní tí ogun ẹni bá dáni lójú. If Yoruba land, there's no need you going there to drag. It's in your face they took the Federal Capital Territory from you. And you think, see, Nigerian military has a record of being one of the most intelligent in the world. When the South were sending their children back in the 70s, 60s to England, to everywhere to go and study, the only thing the Hausas were doing was sending all their children
to the military camp.
To the military here. Why? From there, they get to travel around the world to go and study
militial intelligence.
Thank you. They own this.
You know,
they own it.
Somebody told me something when NSAS happened. That's brown.
Yeah.
Somebody told me. Somebody said, "Do you know that if the South are dominant in Nigerian military, right? This could be a change of power." But he said because it's the North that owns it, and the current president is the North, he's not going to move an inch, and he never moved an inch.
The worst is when they now send military guys from our tribe to come and execute
people. Do you think they are from our tribes?
The top guys have their own people. Mm-hmm. The one that will come and face. You have your people there now. You think you want them to come and die on this side? That's how it works.
You know that there is this pastor, I think it was it Tunde Bakare? One of those pastors, one of those England pastors, Nigerian pastors, said something one day. No, it's not Tunde Bakare. It's that one, that fit one. There's one pastor.
Oh, in London, is he? Pastor.
His feet is House on the Rock. What's his name?
Oh, Pastor Paul.
Ade Pharisee. God bless him. Right? He said something one day. I was listening to. He said, Nigeria is the only place in the world that you move from water, Atlantic Ocean, and you keep going to the Sahara Desert, and the population is increasing. He says it's never done. And it is not real. It is not natural. There are more people where there is water than dry land. But when you look at Nigerian census and consensus, right? There's more people in the north
than
where there's no water than everybody on the southwest.
It's so intentional.
And he said it that they created it purposely because of power.
Now, look at the way they've created these states. There is war within. Okay, I see Nigeria as a contraption of many countries.
A contraction. As a matter of see, me, I even see it as the root of every black person on earth. I see this country as the foundation of every black person on earth. How come this is the most populated black nation on earth?
And do you know that Yoruba is the most practiced way of life outside of the shore of Africa.
Yeah, I know there is a tribe in Cuba, that in Brazil, that they are all, they practice our Ifa, all those things. Yeah, they do it. Yeah.
Without, and it's not a discussion of you are Christian or you are a Muslim. No. When you find yourself, you find your peace, you will have a better understanding of how to respect other religion, other choices made by people.
Okay. Now you table again, so it won't be distorting your audio.
Like, going back to Pastor Paul, because of what you said, when I listened to that same speech he made, he said something. He said, when there is a confusion or misunderstanding within the family, the mother takes a position not to say you are right, you are wrong. The mother settles it. What is Britain doing? Britain is the mother. What have they done? See, okay, by virtue of being opportune to listen to some scholars, this goes back to, is it 1863 or 1864? It's called a meeting that happened.
Berlin Conference.
1866. 1866. Yes. By, is it Ottoman Bismarck?
Yeah, Ottoman Bismarck, yeah. 1866, yes. That was where they actually splitted Africa and distributed.
Did you say splitted?
Yeah. Among themselves.
No, they shared.
They shared it among themselves.
It's like a platter of, you call your friends.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you Ghana. I'll give you Zimbabwe. I'll give you Paris. People's lives.
And unfortunately, one of the problems that's actually one of the major problems.
Can you Google that for me? Berlin Conference, I believe it's 1866. I just want to be sure so that I'm not saying nonsense.
So, if you go back to what Africa is facing generally, holistically, in every way, you can relate it back to, and you can look at it economically, socially,
everything.
1884 to 1885.
1884 to 1885, Berlin Conference.
So you can link it back to that. So the major issue we're having right now in this contraption called Nigeria is not new. Arule was here and he said it is organized chaos.
Yes, it is. Sincerely. The only thing that bothers me is most times I used to feel like maybe our parents were not aware, because it seems our generation are fully aware. We know what's going on. And Gen Z, right? They are just bunch of revolts. They are just going against everything. I don't know what.
Do you know you said they are a bunch of revolts? Mm-hmm. We are the one using that word to them. They don't see themselves as that. So that's that mindset. And that's one of the issues we're going to have if we're not careful on how we communicate with them. If we keep using, you guys are rebellious.
They are for me. They're rebellious, but but for me, even they are being rebel from them, to me, is in a good way, because now they have access to more information, and they see things differently than the way we or our parents see things. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
they just see so many things is wrong. Have you ever had a job interview with a Gen Z?
No.
1 year.
Actually, my sisters told me, we were talking. No.
Yeah,
my
they will change it for you.
No.
How much is the money saved gone? That you're asking all these questions.
No, my sister was telling me about someone who employed one of them, and the person, the owner of the place, the shop, said, "Oh, loba miran kokonwa unje," and the girl left with the cooler and never turned back. And then they called her to talk to her, like, "What's the problem?" and then she told the owner, "Can you communicate with me via email?" And then when the person now sent the email, she now replied back that, "Unfortunately, what you've told me to do was never part of my job description." So now we can call them rebel.
Are we looking at the generation that's going to fix Nigeria?
No. They are not. That's not their job. They want to leave. They just want to leave. They don't care about what our parents, what they did right and what they did wrong. They don't care about, what we're having now is a first of its kind. This is healing. And shout out to the Catalyst, Olushola.
Catalyst, yeah. I think somebody has told me about.
We need voices like that right now. We are actually more psychologically wounded more than these young people.
Yeah.
Because we are the one that we are living our life based on the religious values pushed on us by our parents that was transferred to them by their parents.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we are dealing with right now
that we need to unlearn.
These guys,
everything from your system.
They just want to leave. And shout out to another young blogger that I've just recently stumbled upon on YouTube, Cotty or something like that.
Yeah, that interviewed Asha.
Young girl. She's
What's her name?
bold.
Cotty.
She's bold.
Oh yeah.
And see, this is the kind of,
subscription.
my daughter is she's going to be 18 in July. She's never been to Africa. I walked into the kitchen and I saw her watching. And the topic was about sex. And I walked in, she looked at me, paused it, giving me that, I did what I wanted to do, and I just walk away. And I'm like, what would have been so interesting about, or what is insightful about it? And then I went upstairs and I played, and I'm like, damn, I wish we had this type of opportunity to have this discussion amongst. See, there's so many things that we are struggling in our personal life right now, in marriage, relationship, business, and it's too much stress.
It's too much.
These guys are not going to. They don't have time. Before they think about marriage, they're already millionaires.
Yeah.
Call them Ashewo, call them anything.
Yeah, they are.
Call them drug, don't call them any name. They are they're actually creating their life in their own lane. A lot of them in this unorganized environment, they are living.
True.
You cannot even see.
Yeah, no cap.
You
Man.
cannot even use, I'll take you to America as
It's something that entices
Like
Only told me, say,
you know how many of these Gen Zs go to Ghana, travel around Africa for holiday?
yeah.
They
They
live
see
their
things
life.
way differently. I mean, it has its own advantages and few disadvantages. What I mean by few disadvantages is many of them. I think if they can actually listen more and study more, they could be of great value.
I think they are not.
They are.
They are one of the-
Now, do you know what you've just said? I agree, but it is the means of the way they learn that is different from. See, we are so orthodox
True.
because of the way we were trained, we were brought up.
Yeah.
This is education.
You read from your book, but they can always open their phones and have information that you might probably.
And they can have a discussion to anybody from any part of the world, and they are not scared to try out any new thing. They are actually more at will to look into their environment to create something new
Yeah.
that you can now say, oh, it's similar to something, a wave in America and all of that.
Yeah.
And that's why you see young people in America, the way they relate with our young people here is like we don't exist. Our generation doesn't exist.
Yeah. They really connect though.
So
They really
we
connect.
also need to kind of like start opening. Like we need to start on learning all these things.
It's too much. The brainwashing is insane.
Okay, remember when I was in school, we used to queue, and we are happy when they are distributing King James Version, Bible.
You queue.
Do you think Britain? They were not stupid doing that. And the history in between, how did King James Version come to life? What was happening before that? Baba, what was happening? Why is King James Version? He was a king.
What was the version before King James Version?
It was the Greek now.
There's a Greek version of the Bible.
And one of the issues they both had with each other is still this type of pedophilia behavior. Oh, gay and all of that.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's live and direct. It's part of their culture. Have you seen the Crown on Netflix?
Yes.
Please.
The Crown.
It's wonderful series.
Now, if you want
I'm
to
not seeing the Crown, but I see it, but it's just scroll past.
if you want to,
Genesis of England to the present.
you can watch it as
it is insane that we're having this discussion now, right? My last trip to London, right? They took me to the towers.
Okay.
So we went to see the towers. And the Kinomapa Toman explain.
Oh, tour guide.
The tour guide. He was now telling us different stories. Then when we got to a particular building inside the tower, he now said this building has two brothers killed themselves. They don't know who sliced one first, but he said they called it, the building is like a blood building, or they shed a whole lot of blood. And I was thinking where I was standing that if you look at this thing really, Africans are not violent. Africans are not
We're never
violent. All those things were things that they brought here and we got from them.
Actually, I will add to what you said. They didn't bring a lot here. We are the ones that went there and brought more. And that's the reason why we have this type of society that we have right now. That the minute I make it, the first thing I want to do is to let my neighbor know I don't arrive.
Yeah.
And how do I let them know? Cars,
Show
lifestyle, show off, and all of that. And then start to talk, behave, do things that to me, I'm enjoying myself. But what I've just done is, Oprah said something about money. What money does is it amplifies the real you.
The real you, yeah.
Anyway.
Bro.
So
that actually this statement actually changed my life for good. You know how it does? If I meet you now, Baba, you know the first thing I do? I take your money out, then assess you as a person. I'm telling you. And it changed my thinking, my everything. Because anybody I met, be you Dangote, be you anything, the first thing I will do is take the money out. Who are you without that money?
So,
you know,
it goes
a long way. Then you now see people differently, because most people, especially this part of the world, right? We actually respect people based on the amount of money they have, and
their poverty. It is poverty. See, I say there's two types of poverty. There's poverty you don't have money, and there's poverty of the mind. You give someone millions of dollars that's got poverty of the mind. What you've just done is you've just given the person a loaded gun. That's what you've just done. That's what you just...
And they do it.
The first thing they would do, because
they do it all the time.
See, someone with poverty of the mind is already dead. If they build something in the name of something, watch. The intention might be right, But the way they do it, it will cause more problem. It will cause more problem. So for you to have reached that stage, for you to be able to decide to separate those things,
Yeah.
man, I don't know what pushed you to that state, but I'm not going to lie to you. You are functioning at a different level because the environment I come from there, that I live in UK, it is the way we do here. What do you drive? Where do you walk? Where does your kids go to school? How do you dress? Do you wear Rolex? Do you do you speak Queen's English? And it's funny enough.
Over there.
Oh, if you live in London, there's a London lingo now amongst our Nigerian people. There's a way you speak English phone. I can tell that you're from London. You are Nigerian, but you're when my kids when we go visiting and they speak, even Onyibo knows that they don't live in London. So I can lera wa pa for no reason. For no reason.
You know that I once had a flight. I think I was coming from Germany to Nigeria, and I took Lufthansa, right? Everybody on that flight, okay, let me not say everybody, but 99% of the people on that flight were Nigerians. We're all coming from Europe, coming to Nigeria. But I noticed something. The pilot, right, anytime he wants to make an announcement during the flight, he speaks German. He knows we are Nigerian, no?
Okay.
He knows we are not understanding what he's saying, no? But he speaks German. To bat so German yeton, I so English. Which means it's telling you that he and his language comes first. Your own language as Nigerian does not even exist during the flight. The next thing he's going to go to is English. But he's making that. And I'm thinking, why can't there be a Nigerian pilot that takes the same flight, and even if it's taking you to America, kó tó land America sọ fún yín pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ báyìí àti fẹ́ balẹ̀ sí ìlú America, without the Americans on flight actually understand what he's saying. When he finishes, then he speaks English. But our own native language has always been second. We take English first, another person's language, and we even castigate ourselves. Stigmatize ourselves for speaking our own language.
Now,
oh God.
Let me add to what you just said, because I was going into it. Please watch The Crown.
I will.
Now, please don't watch it like a normal series.
No, I watch it when I'm high, so I can have a proper understanding.
Please,
I'll first go and smoke my weed. So I will make sure I'm in it. I will not put it on.
Because
I'll find chilled champagne.
there are so many rubbish they've told us about those people. One, they culture about Balaro. I've seen an aristocrat speak to his son, 20-something. The guy was like this. The man owns acres of land on his property, and the daughter was going to be 16. And from where the house was to where they're going to have the party, you have to drive. So I was there to come and also. And I got there very early with my friend. And he came to speak to us. And while speaking to us, he called the son. Can you serve them?
And his hand was...
Benisa.
Wow.
See, there's I don't want to go into The Crown. I don't want to. Because the way I saw it, I discussed it with someone, and the person was like, Ye paripa, Lamdi. Everybody watch this. What you saw is totally different. Because there's an institute. There's an institution created for The Crown. So the way their society is created, there's not, they have The Crown must be elevated to the highest level. It's not about who is sitting on the throne.
It's It's about the crown itself.
Even the person that even acted as the queen in that place, the queen herself has to be okay with you acting the queen.
Till date, dollar. To bá fẹ́ bá queen sọ̀rọ̀. If you're going to meet the queen tomorrow, you will come for a rehearsal maybe 3 times. They will tell you how to speak to her, how to address her,
How to present yourself.
to key, and what not to do. If she says this, you start with this. And this was not just lórí eléyìí o.
Yeah. My last trip in London, I actually went to Nibola Jeka Snap now. I think he's inside the tower. They had, it used to be the palace.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a section of it when you go to, they displayed all the crown from, So when I wanted to do, they had to tell me to off my phone. They cannot let us take videos of it.
Yeah.
All of us had to off our phone.
That cathedral.
I even tried to sneak it. The lady just came and I was like, "Would you please off your phone?" I just put my phone up. But inside that cathedral, if you see the numbers of the way they placed those crowns, you know that.
There is media representative of the crown in their newspaper, football, in every area. Oh, they escape. Sorry, you cannot.
Wow.
You cannot. See what is happening with the children right now, the grandchildren, all of that. What the media is telling us is different from what is actually happening. So, it's a lot. Okay, I was going to go back to that, the language.
Yes.
You see, the backing for that pilot, it's not what he wants to do. It's what he's been told by the company. Is rules and regulations. And it's a national identity.
Yeah. The Germans. And the
Germans
Period. The Germans used to be, they're really, really strong.
There's history that the queen, the royal families, they are Germans.
Yeah.
Yes. The royal family, yeah. Queen Tokui, direct.
Bloodline is German family.
The queen's father that died, that the current queen, the mother, there was the queen's mother, Abibeko, but the queen's father that was on the throne, that died, that the present queen now came on, it wasn't meant to be this queen. It was meant to be the king's brother. So what did he do? Tio Lefi, they didn't allow him. He married a woman that's been divorced before. And they held a meeting. The Royal Institute. You leave her or you forfeit. And he decided for love.
To forfeit?
Yes. And when he made that decision, guess what they did to him? The Royal Institute. They banished him. He lived. He was in France. Even at the point when this current queen was on the throne, she tried. He came back to visit. The queen tried to speak to the Royal Institute. They said no. He went back. He died there. And they brought his dead body to bury here in UK. So there's a lot that there's a lot that we know, but there's so much we don't understand. Because it's two different things. That's the way I say, okay, I got to a stage where I wanted to do some studying about, just to prove myself that I'm a learner now. I'm not need certificate, this and that. And I sat down and I'm like, Ola, knowing you. Me, I don't like doing 3 things or 2. I take one.
At a time.
I will now start digging. And for the past 5 to 7 years, the main priority is my identity. Because if I don't get it right, I will sell my soul in the process of elevating or being successful.
True.
I will be successful, but once I'm successful, I've already joined that clique of, it's like a movie script. What you call it? Everything happening to us in Nigeria is
It's
a
not
movie
coincidence. It's
script.
not by mistake. It is
Nigeria is like a
planned.
farmland.
planned
It's
and
like you
well
have a
drafted.
It's like you have a property in Ikoyi, and then you now have a farmland in Idimo. That's what Nigeria is. But your farmland is resourceful. And there's so many things that we know. But I understand you. Okay, gone. So all we are doing is we're just like
Trying to figure out the puzzle.
figure out the puzzle. Okay. We are entertaining the rest of the world. Nigeria is like circus show. That is actually, see what we are doing, the way we behave, the way we think. What's a program? It's programmed already, and the tool they use is our miseducation.
You know why? You know how I can validate what you just said? Go and check a couple of countries in the world that does not have that dominance. Right? When you look at places like China, when you look at places like Russia, right? These are world giants. And it's because there is no domination over them. But every country, even India, is as suffering as Nigeria. And I believe they are British colonies too.
They were, but they filed and they were able to send them out. But India, you mentioned, right now, there is, before India, the empire, Pakistan and all of them were together.
We're together, yeah.
Now, they have their own national identity till date. That's why you see a lot, their culture. You see their president, the way he dress. See they are rich.
Yeah.
When they are in India, the way they dress
Yeah.
and all of that. They might go to America and wear suit and all of that too, but
Once they are back
it's their language first.
yes.
And that's why the rest of the world will always want curry. Their curry is like our own oil.
Yes.
You see? So they have a national identity. So the German pilot that is speaking German first, he grew up with it. China, you mentioned, the first thing, the most important education for a Chinese child is moral.
Yeah.
Is moral.
Yeah.
Anything else comes on top of that.
Baba, it's insane. You know that if once you step into China, right, your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those things shut down.
Anything
They don't work.
Anything you refuse to
If you
control.
go to Google, right, it's Google China that is going to bring for
See,
you.
Baba, anything as you're married,
Yeah.
I'm married.
Yeah.
We are presidents. Anything that happens within our house, especially the children, that we refuse to take control. You know what we've done? We've given that control to our children to share anyhow. So the rest of the world might be seeing China as rare, but they know what they are doing. They know that they are. See, the true essence of China is their society. The heartbeat of their society is the family.
Yeah, but they actually practice a communist society, right?
See, call it anything, Baba,
Working for them.
is working for them.
True. I mean, I think they should be the second world power now, right?
Baba, if they are not on the first five,
They are. They
no.
actually-
Let's
yeah,
say they are not.
it's on the first one.
They are not like us here. They are not. You will never see all these social issues. No, actually,
Annie. Oh, Ola. There's something I stumbled upon one time like that. that the guy was talking about algorithms when it comes to Instagram. And the person said, if you go to China, algorithm is based on education. Right?
On TikTok, you only see educational videos at a particular time to a particular time.
Time.
And it goes off.
You cannot see a girl twerking
Like,
trend.
I saw the same video. It's
I think
see,
it's Andrew Schultz.
even Joe Rogan talked about it on his podcast. too.
Yeah, it is insane. But how come we here as Africans, right? We consume everything.
No. It's the farmland I told you about. It's the farmland. Okay, this is. I heard you one time talking about Samsung and iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what makes this more valuable, stock-wise, globally, than that?
I don't know. I like this one.
No. What do you think makes
Stock-wise,
stock like globally
globally.
that actually determines the worth? Is iOS. This is the product. So no matter how many versions of iPhones, iPad, this, it is the iOS. So right now, our society is a reflection of the type of iOS tí wọ́n ti gbé sí wa lórí.
Do you actually know that what's her name?
Who's name?
The woman now, the pastor woman that used to say Mommy Gio. Do you know Mommy Gio actually posted my video and said me and Victor are going to hellfire?
It's a lie.
Did no?
She did.
I don't know if it was.
Mommy Gio, it is our official account, posted my conversation because we said during COVID, they shut Mecca down and they shut Jerusalem down, God's own country where we go to pray, right? They shut it down during COVID. Are you saying there is no God there? Mommy Gio with our own OT reposted my video and said this is blaspheming, that we are going to hellfire. I was like, are you fucking...
Baba.
Can you beat that? Like, we are going to hellfire.
Hey, but Baba, don't forget that she's actually helped you. A lot of people that has nothing to do with your platform, on a good day, they will never come across your platform. Mm-hmm. She's giving them a reason. Who are these
go and
people?
check why these people are here. Because it does not make sense. You said COVID, right? And you have the so-called religious power that you could use anyway. And you go to these places to pray. And COVID hits and they shut down their borders. They don't want you to come infect them. If your power is so strong enough to cure disease, why did you shut down your doors?
No, but actually, I see, Baba.
No.
No. See.
That was what they said.
Okay. I'm not a Christian right now.
What are you?
I don't know. I don't have to die a Christian. It was passed down to me by my parents.
Yeah. I'm not a Christian.
I can change.
I don't know what you
See,
I don't know what I am.
So right.
But one thing I know is if I die, bury me in the Muslim way, Islamic way.
That's
if
all.
I die, don't put me in the casket.
Why?
Because I want to go back to the ground organic and become a mushroom.
Nah, people eat you.
No, fine.
You get it, right?
Oh.
Serious for once.
I'm serious. I just want my organic body to be with that soil. Don't put me in.
But you not be a mushroom shop.
I'll end up being a mushroom. I'll grow up to be a mushroom.
What is that song? Alakumeji song
Which one?
about loud.
Ganja man.
Is it Ganja man? I can't remember now. You are all loud for this, man.
No. See.
No. Oh, she just want ṣe báyìí. Jẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí. Bóyá tó máa sìn yẹn tán or anything. Táyé bá wà, kàn mix ẹ̀, kàn chop ẹ̀, káwọn tiẹ̀ wá fà ẹ̀. Ashes ẹ̀.
That should be a good.
Ew.
No, that's a good point. But now let me break it down to you. Let me break you down to you, my Ola. Let me break my understanding down to you. Okay. the Bible, what I grew up with, taught me that there are two people being created in a garden, which makes it look like there is a fenced space. Inside that garden, two people were created, a man and a woman. And God created the woman out of the man.
Okay.
And they were supposed to be together, or they were together as husband and wife. Then a serpent came one day
Okay.
and enticed the woman, gave the woman the apple. She ate it, and
And
the
then
eyes
eyes
opened and they became naked. Right?
Skip one part, sorry. You know, God already wants them for.
From
Yeah.
that fruit.
He created the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
And
You now
evil.
told them
Yeah.
not to
Yes.
touch it.
Yes, you created good and evil, and you
And they
told them.
didn't touch it.
And meanwhile, most clerics, what do they call them?
Yeah.
They do say that it's actually not physical. It is it's a figurative speech. It is metaphorical,
Okay.
right? But make it make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, this is what I believe. Everything on earth deserves to be a mushroom,
Okay.
and every life on earth starts from a mushroom. That's my own understanding.
So you don't believe in heaven and afterlife?
No, I believe there is a realm that we can access when we are dead.
Because obviously we came
Right?
from somewhere.
We came from somewhere. There is a
Okay.
big bang that we know that
I
happened.
actually-
You
Not
get.
heaven.
I don't know if it is
Angels.
ever. I don't know if it's no. There's nothing like angels or anybody flying. Forget it. But what I believe is there's too many bogus stories in the Bible. I won't lie to you. It's too bogus, right? Now, Adam and Eve gave birth to Cain and Abel. Abi,
Okay.
right? One killed one. Cain killed Abel, right? They sent him out of the garden. When they sent him out of the garden, right? Dude went to marry another person from outside. Who are those people?
Who are the people?
Baba, you see everything you are saying now. Unfortunately, more need time.
I'm telling you.
Baba, I cannot sit down and have this type of discussion with another Bible fanatic or whatever, because I've realized that I've shortchanged myself long time.
Over
Mo
the
ti
years.
lose
Yeah,
gan.
over the years. A whole lot.
Baba, if anybody wants to have this discussion now, Mama Woni, because you can't expect me to do a research for something you should also be responsible for. Ṣé bí wọ́n ló decide pé o fẹ́ ṣe ìlànà Kristẹni àbí. You can't tell me that way. I'm a Muslim right now. I don't see myself as a Christian. I don't see myself as a Muslim. I don't see anything wrong about religion. It is interfọwọ́ wa ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ni. Ẹ já deal pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. We created this mess.
Did we?
Oh, definitely.
But I actually think it is the number one brainwashing tool that they used.
Actually,
I actually believe religion is the number one brainwashing
no,
tool that they actually used to kill Africa.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
What do you think?
Okay, fine. When they came, we had a system of one town and another town had war. Èyí tó win kò pè wọ́n ní slaves. Kí ni English ẹrú?
Slaves.
Irọ́ ni. Kí wá ní wọ̀fà? What's the difference between servants and slaves? They were servants. Ọmọ tí servant bá bí láyé jọ̀hún kì í ṣe servant. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sorry there's been
àti ìwọ̀fà. Mo lógún ẹrú. Mo lẹ́gbẹ̀gbẹ̀rún wọ̀fà. Àbí?
so
What's the difference?
Sorry.
My Yoruba is not that deep to that
sorry
point.
intawa pe ẹrú lọ́dọ̀ wa kì í ṣe slaves tí òyìnbó sọ o. Ó yàtọ̀ sórí language.
Slave is different from servant.
Tá bá yọ méjèèjì yẹn kúrò sórí àì máa padà sórí gbogbo ohun tá à ń ṣe yìí ó dàbí workout ni o. We're still good. Sórí I don't have problem with being a Muslim because my father was a Christian. When he married my mom, a Muslim young lady, my mom converted to become a Christian. When I was dumped to live with my grandparents, Muslim, my Muslim name is Abdul Qasim Mololikiu. So, tomati lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn parents mi. I have a Christian name. So I have understanding of both ends. And it has actually, it's part of the issues I dealt with when it comes to identity to where I am right now. And I've made that decision. Why can't you change your religion when you can change your name? They gave it to you. Does that mean you should die that way?
Yeah.
Baba, if I'm against weed, do you know the best way for me to have a discussion about weed with you is to experience it?
Yes, my brother. Yes, you have to.
Baba, the best way for me to have a discussion with you about weed is for me to experience it.
And exactly that's the way I see it too. Because normally, too, the way I grew up, right, I used to see people that smoked weed as irresponsible, bad influence, and until I started reading about it too, and I see that, okay, what are you hiding from me? Why can't I? And as a matter of fact, right, I'm open to opportunities.
Baba,
to learn.
Baba, the best way for me to show that I respect your choices is to
experience it.
I mean, experiencing it does not mean
you
I have to be that thing.
It, yes.
No.
Yeah.
See, okay, tí n bá marry nsìn àbí mo ń ṣe nǹkan rí ní family mi tó wá jẹ́ pé ìlànà ìṣẹ̀ṣe ni, and you want to show that you love me. Does that mean if you come for that event ní ìṣẹ̀ṣe ó ti di oníṣẹ̀ṣe?
No, but a whole lot of people won't say it that way.
But
yeah, they won't even come.
Then
ibi tó ti wash wa dé nìyẹn.
No, ibi tí àwa wash ara wa dé ni o. Kì í ṣe àwa nìkan ni Britain colonize o. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká gbàgbé o. We should not forget the fact that Nigeria is not the only country. Even the history, right now, there are some documents, because I watch a lot of documents and podcasts. See, the larger number of the people that were taken from West Africa to the islands were not directly from here. They were the ones, Yorubas, living in Port Novo, Benin, and those don't set to see area.
Ghana.
Shouldn't get me. So we should not be saying that. No. See, this excuses we are creating for ourselves. It is high time we look at ourselves. Okay, fine, it has happened. Are we going to sing this song forever?
Yeah.
It's
tiring. It's actually tiring. But yeah.
No.
We can't keep playing.
You can play it, no problem.
Yes, but the
it
thing
happened.
But you do, Ola, do you know where I'm concerned most? Right? It's not even about us, right? We understand these things, right? But these so-called men ruling this country, that is where I'm concerned, because they don't. I'm very sure many of them knows all these things, but they are not ready to change anything because of their own personal interest.
Baba, the minute someone see, the easiest way for a powerful, for a group, okay, for a voice to stand, for the reason why I have a voice here is because you created a platform. If you do not allow me on your platform, probably if people are going to hear me or know me, or know my view, or come, probably books or different. But because you've created the platform, that's why I'm here, and that's why I now have a voice. When I leave here, I'm like every other person. So that's why it's very, very dangerous for someone with the right mind, one person with the right mind, to go and express their views. See, that's the difference between Ogbon Imo ati Oye. If you are wise and you have this type of mindset right now, do not go near them. Because it's their driver that will kill such mind. Is the smallest of the smallest
of them.
Because they've created an institution already. So if we want to talk about who they are and what they stand for, we need to see them as an institution, and they all work together. Call them cabal, call them anything. They are an institution. So if we want to deal with them or create an opportunity for both sides to have this, we also need to create an institution. If we create 50 of us to talk to them, they will clean them in hours. Our realize power go 31 lẹ́yìn lásìkò pa wọ́n.
Yeah.
So
and
we
that's
need
exactly
to,
what you mean when you said it's not only Nigeria that's been colonized by the British. They colonized a whole lot of people. But who have they colonized, or who did they colonize in the past that is doing well?
China? Oh.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
The British colonized China?
Like they had a war. Because it started with business. It started with the story behind the Bank of Hong Kong and all of HSBC in England. Yeah. That's where it came from. So it was how do they start?
Emmanuel, can you check who colonized China for me?
Like when we say, I wouldn't even say
British and Germany.
Wow.
So when even talking about China we have now is not the China of that time. Because of evolution. Because of what they are. See, they created. Yoruba land is complete, though. Isheshe is complete. Ilano Yoruba is complete. Because when you sleep and you dream, your dream, does it reflect that you're a Christian or you're a Muslim or you're Nigerian? You're an human being. Period.
No.
At the beginning, I was going to say this, that I believe that Atiwa, Mogbatan Biwa, Deni Mogbatan Malo. So in the capsule of time, we have a decision to make. What are we going to leave behind? Is either we try now to use, I'll be 42 in October. So how long do I have left?
You still have 58 years.
Baba, 58 years here. I can use that 58 years creating more problem for the ones coming behind. Wọ́n ní ilé Latin kẹ́sọ̀rùdì ní Yorùbá sọ. Let's go back to where we come from. They missed it. Our Awolowo and all of them. Okay. So what are we going to do now?
We keep missing it. I'll move on.
Do you know one thing that has actually happened to us that grew up in the 80s? Thank God for our grandparents. A lot of us that we are speaking now, that we have this opportunity of moral education now. And just quickly want to mention Mama Sophie Oluwole. Google who that woman is, please. She's very, very important. She was the one that taught me what Ekoile is. The type of education that we have in Ile Yoruba before the type of education that was brought.
Wow.
If you go on YouTube, type Sophie Oluwole. Mama Tiku, she was a lecturer, senior lecturer at Unilag.
Wow.
She had passed before I found her.
First female doctorate degree holder in philosophy in Nigeria.
Wow. Iyanongbe, because a lot of people believed she was part of this occultic and all of that. And I think from the way she speaks, the way she carries herself, she doesn't mind. Because she understands what those powers that be then what they actually represent
Bro.
in the real society of Yoruba. Because the issue they call devil is not the same.
I've even read that one. Yeah.
Because I believe that
It's not Satan, it's not devil.
because when you talk about Ishwoda, don't let me go into that.
Please go. Please
No,
do.
no.
Please do.
Because
Eshodara is very important in this conversation.
now,
But-
do you know the reason why I don't want to go into it?
Mm.
Because I'm not part of that Isheshe. I'm not allowed to.
Why? Why are you not allowed to?
No, if I speak now, I'm speaking based on what I've heard them say. I'm going to speak. I'm just going to be quoting.
What you mean is you're not that deep when it comes to the
Even
understanding.
if I'm deep, if you are not part of it, so see, Yoruba, it's deeper than all this. Oh, talk about Ogbo.
But wait, Ola, if this is true, what we are supposed to embrace, like the Isheshe, as Africans,
Yes.
or as black people,
As
if this
Yoruba.
is truly what we're supposed to embrace, right?
Yeah.
Why are we shying away from it?
Because
Why do they actually have a certain group of people who has the understanding and not willing to share?
You really want to
No.
know, I think you will find it out by yourself.
No, do you know what the funny thing is that it is there. That's where we are from. We like it or not. See, there are some things about your spiritual being. Like me, we can talk about this. When I was about probably 10, I remember my dad taking me to Bar Beach. I love beach. And he had a friend working at NTA. And opposite is the beach back then. So when I get there, you know me, I do mama shiri, and everything. Under 30 minutes, I'll start having temperature.
Then you go to the beach.
I'll start having temperature. But I love it. I see till date, I love it. So later, once tabatin pada lole, tabati wa lórí mọ́tò, ká tó délé, I'm good. Then there was one time I remember, the last time actually he took me, and he said he's not going to
Take you anymore.
He brought me to the same beach. We sat down, and I told my dad, Daddy, wo aṣọ yẹn. And he looked, he said, what? I said, I can see something. What is it? Mo ní aṣọ red. He can't see it. He stopped few people. Ṣé rí nǹkankan? Wọ́n ní rárá. Mo ní, Daddy, this thing is coming towards us. And he's like, show wa okay. Ó fọwọ́ kàn mí lára. Ó ní òtútù bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ó yá já lọ. Mi tún mú ẹ wá bímọ. I pick shells. I love shells. I picked them as a young boy. Mama fish artwork, you know. And later, some things that happened in my life, and they were able to trace it back. That way, your spirituality is actually linked to that. Because even man lala.
To the beach. To the ocean.
Yes.
The spirituality is
linked to
the
it.
ocean.
So there are some type of dreams I have. Me kì í gbàgbé àlá. That tó jẹ́ pé ńgbà me when I speak, and I remember my grandmother always begging me when as a child, tí mo bá ń bí mi, tí n bá sọ̀rọ̀ sí yàn àbí tí mo sọ pé kan á ṣẹlẹ̀ as a child. I was that child that would say, oh, I remember this clearly, telling my mom. I came in and I said, brother kiniko, my mom, and to Kano. 1 hour later, he knocked. No, these are not. See, this is what we have inside of us. See, the only mistake that the white people did was to try to remove spirituality in the type of religion they introduced us to, because it is in us. A black people can look at this and call it whatever, concentrate on it, sing, move, and before you know, they are in a type of realm that science cannot break down. That is who we are. So I can't go into it as deep because I'm not part of it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And I've come to understand that.
There's one thing that there's two things that actually baffles me as a black person, right? And the number one thing is Ayeta, right? In as much as they say, some people will say there's no jazz, there's just this, there's just that. I've seen where people are being shot, right? And the bullet did not penetrate into their body, and they are not wearing bulletproof. I've seen it. This one is not my school days.
I haven't seen it though.
I have seen it,
but I believe it exists.
I've seen it that it happens, right? And I tell my guys, I'm like, okay, what's the difference between this Ayeta and a regular bulletproof? The only thing is, this is spiritual, and it doesn't make the bullet penetrate. But this is bulletproof. So those are two stuff, right? So, which is more powerful?
Depends on who you are and which aspect you're coming from.
Yeah. But any day, anytime, right? I think you having that kind of power, that even the bulletproof is not physical, and you could still do that, right? I think it's something that is worth looking into, if this is real or not. What is making that happen? That is a strong power, right? Why do you have to classify it as spiritual? Why not technological?
Now,
or maybe technological is not the right word.
No.
Or maybe, why does it have to be spiritual?
It has to be spiritual. You know why? Because our Ilana Isheshe Yoruba is embedded in Oduifa.
That's exactly.
And
okay.
Everything about Ifa.
What would you? Okay, this is a good one. How would you? What is the function of Oduifa?
Okay.
Dissect, tell you the meaning, see the future, or tell you the program that you're supposed to follow to achieve a certain thing, right?
It's deeper than that.
Okay, maybe few steps deeper than that. How about Google?
Now, Baba, let me now take you back. See what Google is for Oyinbo. Ifa has been it.
That's exactly my point.
Ifa since.
That's exactly my point.
Now, if we now leave Yoruba land, we go into the Persian history.
The Persian history, yeah?
If we go into the Greek history, in terms of their gods and all of that, if you go into different aspects of life, you find out that actually you can trace them. There are some things that don't feel link. Now, when you now come to the Western world, all they are trying to do is to rewrite your true history, because they know that one of the major reasons, major ways for them to sustain their power is to rewrite your history, is for you to learn your history through their own narration.
Wow.
See, Baba, I will go back to the miseducation of the black men. There's a book about that, although. Yeah. But ibiti problem ti wa fún wa is our education system. In the Scandinavian country, there is a word. There's a word. Shout out to Don Jazzy. He has it on the wall. Shushin. Google it. Igbo land, they have their own too. Anything that comes.
What's Shoshin?
Okay, let's Google it. Google it for us.
Google Shoshin for me. What does Shoshin means?
So there's a philosophy of Omoluabi, and what it says is that as a child, nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, ẹ̀kọ́ ilé ló wà important jù. Ẹ̀kọ́ ilé ni kó mọ́ jí láàárọ̀, kó bọ́jú, kó mú gbálẹ̀. Now, surely there's this narration that is going on pé girl child, boy child, iṣẹ́ tó yẹ kí lè ṣe ni iṣẹ́ tí ó yẹ kí lè ṣe ni. It is not that way in ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. a boy cannot wash or cook. No, it is just based on division of labor and based on our mothers. Bóbìnrin ọmọge bó ṣe yẹ kó ṣe ni àwọn ìyá wa ń prepare àwọn obìnrin wa from as little as age 6, 7 how to understand what womanhood is from the kitchen, from the set of killer wa kọ́nà prepare wa fún. And that's one of the reasons why we all, as men, we have issues, not in marriage, in relationship.
But don't you think, this is funny though. Don't you think that with the uprise of feminism and women now thinking that maybe those culture are actually wrong?
Now, there's something called social engineering.
Yes.
Now,
From social engineering perspective, not in the moving way.
all right.
Okay, if you look at it from social engineering perspective, it's beginning to look like all those things were actually wrong. Right? They were not supposed to raise them to know that at the end of a term, they will end up being in one kitchen, or they have to be respectable, or they have to be submissive to a man.
Baba, everything they did was right. The camera's here now. No matter how sophisticated the camera is, the type of the lens determines what is seen, what is recorded, and how it appears. Mind you, any lens. Bashen wuni. I can speak now and use the best of the best quote or statement to support my evil intention.
That's good. That's very good.
Because at
True.
the end of the day,
Yeah, and people will still believe you.
because at the end of the day, nǹkan burúkú ni mo fẹ́ ṣe. Anyway, so you want me to use something that is negative to my counter nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ ṣe àbí? No. Baba, you mentioned the word feminism. Feminism is actually a tool used by the Western world to cause wahala in our society. Because I'll take you back to a book. It's called The Lioness of Lishabi. It's written
Lioness
of Lishabi. This book was written about the life of Yafela. And
Fumi and Nicola Kuti.
yes,
Fumi Ransom Kuti.
Fumi Ransom Kuti. Because what we know, okay, I mentioned Fumi Ransom Kuti, Amina Zao, and the traders, markets that happened in.
Yeah, the Igbo market women in the history. Yes.
Now, do you actually know that in the history of Africa, there was no revolution that was successful without women?
Yes, I know.
All the revolution that was going to happen, all the uprising that was going to happen without women turned out to be fight. Baba, we need to go back. There was no confusion in the life of, in the setting of the family. Nila no Yoruba. Mm-hmm. There was no confusion. A woman knows what she needs to do. A husband doesn't need to tell the wife that you need to do X, Y, and Z for our daughter. No. If the husband have to, then that means something is not right that the husband wants to call the attention of. Likewise, the mother to the father about the son. So there was no competition. Check in the Oduifa, check in the Isheshi. All the Oshun, the symbol of Oshun, a woman.
Yeah.
Love, Ife, There's so many things.
Yeah.
There's Thomas or Oduduwa, no. There's a story
that goes
about
with the woman.
With the woman.
Yeah.
Ajenko. See, it is the earlier we actually start to. It's earlier. Okay, now maybe it's the influence of my mother on me, on my life, because my number one purpose in life is to make my mother happy before I bury her. Nothing more, nothing less. After God, she's the representation of God, of my God, whatever I call my God. In any season, in any stage of my life on planet Earth. I don't get to talk to her like this. I know I've not been able to do things to let her see it like this, but it's just because of the level of, the type of love that she showed me in the middle of her trials as a child.
Yeah. It's deep, Ola. I won't lie to you. As a matter of fact, see, we as, I won't say as Africans, even as Nigerians, you know that a whole lot of us don't even believe, or no, I won't say believe, a whole lot of us don't even have an understanding of what the planet is. Like, okay, this is what the Earth is.
It's
like,
not important to us. It's not.
So why won't we get it wrong when it's when we don't think it's
but wait. What would have told us about it is Sheshe.
Yeah,
left it.
But they left it. They already dumped it, so nobody is looking at.
So
there's something I want to show you.
There's
something I want to show you.
We will always digest, consume, argue over what the Western world tells us about these things.
But the word is spherical.
Thomas is rectangular.
I took Babe no ni, I loni. Nǹkan tó bá ti sọ ni, right?
Which of the Nigerian and which of the African has gone to the moon and have been gone to outer space and come back?
I don't think anyone has.
So, Baba, there is a lot. This feminism, it was never a problem. Okay, let's talk about. You remember this movie? What is the name of that movie? Oh, this guy that passed, that went really, really like this. You remember this movie?
Nigerian movie?
No, Wakanda.
Oh, okay. Black Panther.
Yeah. You remember when
see this thing? I just want to show you this. Baba, each time I look at this, I just feel like Africans have no idea of where they are and what they look at this. How do you even exist? And how do you even think that you are existing when the universe is like this?
Well, their job is to kind of like promote all these narrations especially for countries, part of the world that which we are able to consume anything.
So when we are on Earth and we look at those stars up there, right? Do you ever think that those stars are bigger than the Earth we're in?
Because I know the knowledge. I know that it's way massive bigger. Even some of them have shown 1 million years ago, and we're just seeing the reflection.
No, Baba, do you know I want to ask you a question? There's a question I want to ask you.
Yes, please.
Please listen. No. Why do we human beings think that among everything that exists, we are the best?
Special.
We are special.
Why do we think we're special, right? As humans?
Why?
But I think when it comes to the evolution of the brain, right, and human, right, human beings are still on the top tier. Like the way our brain evolves, and I believe it has a lot to do with psychedelics, right? Not necessarily, but I believe it has a lot. It might not even be mushrooms, but I believe it has a lot to do with psychedelics. That our brain as human evolves over time, and it keeps evolving and it's still going. That is where we are seeing people like Elon and all this Bill Gates and all that. If you look deep into those guys, right, their brain has extra strings that we don't have. Right.
Another level.
Yes.
Baba, thank you for what you said, but I don't think you've answered my question. My
Please.
question is,
Yeah.
why do we human beings think that we are the best of all things
I think because
that exist, that breathe?
because I don't think there's anything we have seen or know personally that has surpassed what we know that is intelligent.
Apart from UFOs.
But does
I think people acknowledge what are
UFOs, yes,
But-
that's true, yeah.
if I'm to go with what you said, are you trying to say that you accept the fact that there is more that we have not really touched?
Yes.
So why should we come to a conclusion? Why are we why do we think?
And let's just close the curtain here.
Why do
And that is it, yes.
So the Bible says
Yes.
God gave Adam, he was able to name everything. So I name my children. Does that mean I name my children? I'm called Olamide. Shola Tide. Okay, Tolabawa Dinko. Shekoli Fapu. Why are we behaving, or why do we have this unreasonable thought that among everything that exists, when the larger part of this planet is covered by water,
Yeah.
and they are still finding more stuff,
More
organisms.
squid, more crazy. Like 2 days ago, I was reading one article and I stumbled onto one that says crows. You know crows, the birds, right? They are very close to human when it comes to reasoning.
Do you know they are so intelligent? They were the things
Yeah.
that they were using to like even send messages.
Yes,
in the olden days.
crows are very,
you know mine?
very,
Do
very.
you know-
As in, crows used to. There's this documentary on YouTube that crows will
They will
create, Baba. They'll create fight between cats. They'll wind them to fight themselves,
just for them to watch.
just for them to
Baba.
entertain themselves.
Baba, mine. Do you know?
If you watch all those like Roman Empire movies or all those
Yes.
Yes.
they are
Even
also
the
close.
Send for
even
message and
the
over.
Arabians as well.
Yeah,
This-
and in as much too, I heard that dolphins are very intelligent
No,
too.
very intelligent.
Do you know the one that is more intelligent that I am interested in? Beluga whale.
Beluga whale.
I have not seen one. I want to, wherever, even in America, if they have a center where I can just stand and just
and watch.
If I have my way, I will own one. Just like people that own a
I've
lion.
never read
and
about
all.
beluga whales.
Go and check.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, their level of IQ is beyond. Baba, for me, I just believe that we've trapped ourselves as humans
Too much.
too much.
Too much.
There's a lot for us to
Yeah.
explore.
And yes, and the media, you know, the way they structured our media has not been
The way
helpful.
we structured our life, we are doing
Yeah.
the same thing for the rest of our lives. till we die.
The media is actually created to bring out all these junks so that they can control. And look at our
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
And this is part of, look at Coca-Cola now. Should Coca-Cola be allowed?
You think you shouldn't?
Baba,
Did you see?
do you see the rates of diabetes rising?
Yeah. Did you see Elon's tweet about Coca-Cola?
Yes, when he buys Coca-Cola.
He said it's great.
So why?
He says his next target is to buy Coca-Cola, and when he buy Coca-Cola, he's putting cocaine back inside.
When
That was the end for me that day. I was
So-
like, this guy has killed me.
So at a point, they said sugar is actually one molecule away from
Yeah,
becoming an acting agent like cocaine.
like cocaine. Yeah, yeah. For no, the thing is, when they started initially, right? There's actually cocaine inside. That is at that point, history shows that they don't even allow black people to buy it because of the cocaine inside, right? It's just a drink that is meant for
It's
white people.
known fact.
It was later when black people started drinking it, right, and started misbehaving. That is when they now revolt against it to remove the cocaine inside, right? So it is the possibilities and opportunities are
Endless. Okay.
we can learn so much if we open our minds and see things differently.
And there's a lot created to actually determine how long we live, how we function.
There's a video on YouTube. When you have the time, you could check it out. There's one guy that shows the amount of sugar in a bottle of Coke. Have you seen that video?
I've seen it.
If you watch that video, you won't drink Coke ever in your life again.
Do you know?
He had several drinks. So he's going. I've forgotten the way he was doing it, but at the end of the day, he's going to boil it, right? And it should remain just the sugar in the cup, right? If you see the number of sugar in one bottle, you won't want to.
It is more of psychological thing for us as human beings, because at the end of the day, look at Apple. Apple didn't create iOS as a mean to show that they can become the global giant. They created a tool that will psychologically teach human being to depend on it. So it's not about the product.
You're right.
It's not about the product.
Yeah.
It's still evolving with time.
Yeah.
That's why they will always update to iOS.
Yeah. And if you look at it, the memory is way better than human.
True.
The memory is way better.
So-
it will tell you what you did on January 22, 1999.
And then it will bring out pictures
And bring out pictures of
places you've been, just to
it will
remind
tell
you and
you
all of
things
that.
that you can't even remember.
Damn, bro.
Things that you can't remember. It will bring it out for you and
Baba,
show
at
you.
the point, very soon.
Yeah. So they have better memories.
That's why I always snap out when I see myself like holding my phone for too long. At the point I look at people, like I can be in a room of 7 people and I just come out of that and look at every other person and see how focused.
Yeah, they are.
We are right
It's
now.
something else.
Yeah.
We are. So there's no, okay, let's say that we're functioning at that level. But at this state, the way the world is right now, if that is a norm, if that's a new trend, how can we take charge of our own narrative right now, create things like this? Because China wasn't built in one day.
Yeah.
They had to take ownership,
And it's insane.
and they started somewhere. So definitely, there will come a time where we.
But is it not even insane that this product and all these companies, right? They have all our datas. They have all our datas, and we.
It should not be surprising to anybody.
No, it's.
So my point is, now the same colonialism that we are talking about is still what is going on, because we don't even have the information
That's
they
the same
have about
About
us.
us.
They can actually determine and create narratives for us that
That will make your life follow exactly what their plan
what
is.
the plan is.
So when I go back to UK,
Wow.
where I buy my fuel, where I shop, where I spend my card, where I use the touch, where I use this one, it can tell a trend, and
Yeah.
it can send messages to these brands
Yeah.
that, okay, we've seen that this guy spends money
Yeah.
at this, like in this
Locations.
pattern,
Yeah.
this location, and at this part
Time.
of the month.
Yeah.
Probably, especially during the salary, the
Yeah,
week they are
the
paying.
paycheck period.
So there's a pattern they are all following,
Yeah.
and now they are sharing those
Yeah.
information with
Yeah.
these big companies.
Yeah. Is that a pattern?
And now
Yeah.
I have an Amazon. What is it called in the house? You can just speak to it.
Alexa.
Alexa.
yeah.
So, and I want my wife like, this thing you've brought into this house.
Bro.
Are we in control?
Bro.
I'm not ever in control.
Bro, Google
I'm not
it. Bro, Google it. Alexa, right, actually stands as a witness in a court case in
Yes,
America.
A court case against somebody that tried to kill somebody, or someone that killed somebody.
So,
Recorded information.
what do they know about us?
They know
So guess what?
everything.
If my missus that bought it, I can't even remember the last time she's taking the cable off.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah, you have to take it off.
Do you know?
You have
do you
to
know
take
what
it off.
really made her real feel like she freaked out?
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Do you know that recently, whenever she's talking to me about something, few hours later,
It's a
the
pop-up
advert comes
on the phone, yeah.
her phone.
Yeah.
So
my phone, the day I disconnected my phone was when I was having a conversation with someone, and the thing just laughed. It was on, right? You know, we were just having a conversation. I said something that was funny, right? And the shit laughed.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? What,
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
I don't think.
What's the laugh?
I don't think this technology advancement is bad. It is just the way it's being
manipulated, right?
manipulated by the people that created them.
But it's our responsibility. See, if I want to buy something from you, you are the seller, I'm a consumer. But before I come to you, I should view other products, other brands, and look at the safety, security before I come and buy. Once I buy it, it's too late for me to complain. It's my responsibility.
But then again,
it's not your responsibility.
but then again, all of them are functional in the same way, right? Because the same thing Alexa does is what Siri will do, and the other one,
But you don't have to
the
use
Echo
them.
too.
But
is
you
the
don't have
same
to.
way.
You can
Just
mute them.
You don't even need them in your house.
You
You
know,
don't
but
need
the
them.
thing-
It's too much. You're putting out too much information.
Okay, how about we don't use them and we create our own?
Bro, even though you create
But we have our own Alexa now. We just didn't develop it.
See, even though you create your own Alexa, as far as it's been connected by
Do you know
the
Ajon?
hardware,
Do you know Ajon?
you can still tap
Do you know
it.
Ajon?
Ajon? No, I don't know that.
You don't know Ajon? You should know Ajon now. Have you seen any Abidjan movie?
Oh yeah.
You know, you used to call her Ajon.
Oh, okay,
That's a fucking Alexa, dude.
Oh.
And Ajon will tell Abidjan, ma lọ síbẹ̀ o, what he do?
You know the funniest one for me growing up was that one. Tomati Jinko, once something is missing, and they take
everybody to.
You missing that?
You know that one? When you steal something, they will take you to maybe a
What is it
jazz man
called?
or an
No,
afa.
Omi Ayelala.
Oof. That's a deep one.
Or there's another one.
I know there is one they used to do that they will tell that one. Me, I've seen that one before when I was in school. That somebody stole money in my hostel. They now took all the boys
There's one.
to one jazz
like
man
that.
house. This one,
Oh. Come on, say.
broom.
Oh, I've heard about that myself.
They will tie the broom
Uh-huh.
somewhere, and the jazz man will be talking to the broom and tell them, "Oh yeah, tó bá jẹ́ pé èèyàn báyìí ló jí." They will be mentioning their name. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Wálé ló jí owó Ramoni, kọjú sí Wálé, and the broom will just go, just reach Wálé's turn, and kò ṣe Wálé. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Emmanuel ló jí, oya kọjú sí Emmanuel, the broom will just go, just stay there. Emmanuel.
See, it's funny how
All those things stupid.
What Dagba Pelu.
Yeah,
We
they
saw
are
it
crap.
as entertainment. He said as entertainment.
But if there was an avenue to develop some of
Some
those
like
things,
that
I
and
think we
upgrade
might-
them.
Yeah, I think
Because,
we might have
see,
made some things out of those things.
There was no problem with
What
technology.
what does Siri or
Alexa
do that you can't do?
No, do.
personally? It will make you lazy.
So it's taking that control
No, Baba.
from you
Yeah, like we're saying.
and making you rely.
Yes.
So-
Now look at it.
It's all
Look at it from
done and gotten
yeah. Look at it from this. Look at this. Look at what development is. Before I leave house, right? I'll ask Alexa. Alexa, what's the weather today?
You can check your phone and know.
And you tell what's the difference? It's the same
It's
thing.
not the same thing. That
The only
Alexa
no,
is
it's the same thing. The only difference is Alexa is audio.
Audio.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
You get
thing.
the power is
Alexa
still
is
in the
like-
phone.
It's like you give your phone life and say go and live and stay on your own. I just be giving you information.
Yes.
It's like saying you are giving a robot a life.
A life.
Okay,
to
so
live,
what's
yeah.
the difference in that? And when I want to do something
has
and
to
take
be
no
control.
listen. I'm talking about Ifa now.
Okay.
And you put it down and say Ifa mo fẹ́ lọ síbi báyìí lẹ́yìn báwo ló ṣe máa rí, and put it down. If that device can be developed, right, it might end up giving us the same results Alexa will give you.
And guess what? There's actually research going on which says that Ifa is one of. Actually, there's another thing called numerology. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I know numerology. Yeah.
Which is.
Which
numbers.
is like, I think it's an Ethiopian thing. I think they started it, but it's numbers and it predicts the weather. It tells you visions things like that
and
about
everything.
numerology.
And
Yeah.
actually, I've been in an environment where a pastor was calling out numbers of date of birth, bank details, house number, telephone numbers, and all of that. And based on that, you come out and then you will say something. And guess what? I realized later that, come on, all these guys are doing is just going back and getting into all these things and learning how to, play on our emotion.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
numerology, astrology, all
those things,
they go
even
they go a long way. Yeah.
Not until last year that I started to check my network in terms of zodiac signs and guess what? Since I've been looking at it and studying it, I'm having a better relationship with people around me. Why? Because I kind of understand why one person is like this and why some people are like this in this type of issue, especially when it comes to love and loyalty.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I realized because I grew up here looking at the truth.
There's one story I read one time like that about Christopher Columbus that is so funny like hell, right? So this guy actually understands how the moon sets, right? And when he got to the land in America, right, and he was trying to take over their land, right, they didn't give him the chance, right? But he now told them there is a threat he used as regards the moon. By tomorrow, a big ball will appear in the sky. And if you don't give me that thing I want, I'll tell you to calm down and burn you up. Right? That kind of mindset, right? And they didn't believe at first, but at the point, the thing showed up. Right? It showed up based on him understanding the time, which they don't. Right? And they have to submit.
Mélòó la fẹ́ ká. Mélòó la fẹ́ ká baba. No. Is it if we look at the religion?
Crazy.
For me, there's nothing wrong with religion, and for me, I have to clear. I'm just on a path right now to explore.
Yeah. Discover new things.
See
all the
because
ways.
I found out that since I've stopped locking myself in this Christianity journey and all of that, I'm starting to actually see human being differently.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the reason why actually it's helped me to become more compassionate and I'm able to express empathy in a different way.
Yeah.
I'm able to
Same
kind
way.
of like
I feel the same way too.
There's nothing wrong in me.
See, the only thing that is left for you to do is to smoke weed. You be a complete human being. I'm telling you, that's the only thing. See, if you now take it further, right? Maybe a psychedelic experience. I won't say DMT. Maybe like ayahuasca or something. If you tried those ones, Baba.
Christianity in research, or that's what Joe Rogan said. Joe Rogan said Christianity was based off from psychedelics, mushrooms.
Yes,
that's the way
it is.
brought it up.
It is, Baba. It is.
Literally.
There's one that I've heard a scholar talk about, which is when Abraham was burning the burning bush.
Okay.
Right? They said everything that happened after the burning bush was a psychedelic experience. It was not real. The bush that they burned made him high.
Psychedelics, yeah.
Right, but if you ever experience a psychedelic experience, you will have a better understanding of this your knowledge. You see, this is your brain. All these things that you've been talking about this morning, it's now extend to extra strings, so you see things. Bro, when I experienced it, do you know what I do? Right, I go back to movies that I've seen 10-15 years ago,
and then you start to
rewatch them and have a different meaning entirely.
I wouldn't mind, but right now
You will have
Not
to.
now.
You, yeah,
Not
you,
now.
you even need a guide. You need somebody because when you go to places like Thailand, they have like all these their what do you call
Temple
them?
or
All these their Buddhist,
Buddhist,
that will,
you know.
they will guide you all through. It's not something you can
What
do
is
on
your
your
zodiac
own.
sign? Actually?
Yeah, I'm a Pisces.
Okay, what is
Yeah.
yours? Okay, we
Taurus are asses.
Libras,
I don't
we
like
have
them.
we have something like we take our time before we, you know, go into something.
Yeah,
But
I
once
mean,
we are there,
you're a medical person. You've been in the.
I've seen
so
different.
I'll actually
but for me,
I'll send you some things too.
although
that you can read.
I've been under the influence of different injections and drugs
Substance,
that I
yeah.
knew that this is different.
Yeah.
And I was so scared. All I did was just shut my eyes to sleep.
Yeah,
Because
like
the belief is that once I
See, the belief of smoking weed is when you smoke with your own man. That's what I grew up knowing, that if you smoke weed,
yeah.
When I first ever experience of smoking weed,
You felt like Umayawari.
I was paranoid.
Yeah,
That was what
and
they
it's
did.
because of what they've already
already
instilled in
in
your
your
head. Yeah,
And I had to talk myself that, bro, you just literally just.
Baba, see,
Why
eh,
you is
I
because-
can imagine the way you think and the way you talk, right? I'm telling you, if you go through a psychedelic experience, maybe once, I think every
I wouldn't
human.
mind
I
though.
think every human. I'm
So
not even
where-
talking about.
where
I'm not
you-
talking about weed now.
okay.
I'm talking about real mushrooms.
really.
Mushrooms, bro. Mushrooms. I'm talking about mushrooms.
So what's that? Is it something to smoke?
Okay,
or eat?
you don't have to smoke it. Some you could eat. Sometimes you could vape it. You don't have to smoke it. It's not necessarily. But when you get home, watch Fantastic Fungi on Netflix.
Okay.
You have a better insight.
All right.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
too deep, but it touches few
Few
things,
things,
about
okay.
what
And
mushrooms
that's
is, and yeah.
Joe's podcast with that mushroom guy.
Um.
That guy that came on the show that explained everything.
Baba,
Details,
please
yeah,
send
yeah.
me this thing.
Yeah, I'll send it to you
Because-
you just need to see. I actually believe that even all our leaders, before they should allow you to run a country, right? They should put you.
Go through a
You should
psychedelic
put you in a psychedelic experience. I'm telling you, see life different.
Mike Tyson literally said killed his ego.
Really?
Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why he's more like with everybody now, because
Yeah.
literally you are nothing.
Yeah.
You understand as a human.
Yeah, I still saw one of his recent interviews, and he told me that's what changes. It changes
changes
life
your
completely. He said it changes life. It made him feel like he's nothing.
All those
Like
self-
because those things you'll be seeing the image of you talking to you,
Really?
bro. Your image of you talking to you and telling you.
So where are the places in this part of like world to go to?
I don't know my own.
in America.
Me, I know there are places in America you could go to. Then I know Thailand is a big spot. That a whole lot. Then Mexico too. There are places in Mexico that you go. These ones they would guide you and put you.
legalized there,
Yeah.
sir. That's
Then
why-
there's one there's one other documentary. I'll send some.
So what? Can
Just
you
read it.
compare this with our own white garment churches where people go in trance?
Yes.
And okay,
Yes.
so that's what you're.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I get it now.
Yes, but that's one. That's our own white garment church. You know, I don't really know what's behind it.
Well,
I don't know what
I
they're.
don't
I don't know what they're
but
using. But I know that because I grew up in a white garment church, right? And my Olusho, the shepherd of my church, sincerely, that guy goes sometimes 21 days with
I've
no
seen-
food.
Yes, I've seen.
21 days
Yeah.
with no food. They used to me even when I was little, right? When I was a kid, I don't used to believe that he doesn't take anything. Me, I used to believe, oh man, mommy, like he used to drink water. How can you survive 21 days with? But they used to say they don't drink water and they don't take food. Because they're not. But me, inside my head, I still think you're running. Oh, mommy. I'm telling you, even at that age, I used to feel like.
I've heard them. I've heard
But
one.
there is a level of transition that they get to. Like there's a realm that they get to that is not.
I've
Because when they tell you things at that
They
stage,
see.
they see things.
actually I've heard one very close to me that.
Exactly.
Well, I believe those things exist, and I wouldn't mind. But me naturally, mine is sleeping. My dream.
And you see things.
Oh,
Ah!
definitely.
If this guy, don't worry.
Me, I don't forget dreams, and it's funny. Like I can remember dreams of 10 years ago. It could be
But
just
people are different though,
something-
because
something.
somebody like me.
Like the way you talk about Isaac
Saturday
Abasan.
and it would be too extreme for him because he has so much already.
Yeah, he's so conscious. He's so conscious. He has to. If you want to try, you have to microdose first. They did,
Because I
like,
said you need to
yeah,
have a guide.
yeah, microdose. You have to microdose first. But I believe that if you experience it, it's going to change your life completely. Yeah, you will see all these things that you believe. You just be like, oh, so this is because now you now be getting the validation. You know, you get the validation that.
Because my plan now is just for me to explore, free myself.
Yes, so
If I want to change my name, fine. If my children want to change their name, once I know that they are adults and they are responsible
and
in terms of not only limiting that adulthood to age, no. You can see. I shouldn't die a Christian. No.
you don't have to. You don't have to. There's nothing that says you have
there's
to.
no. But there is just
You
this
shouldn't have
cultural,
to, yeah.
this societal, this and that. But it's just time. The worst we've done to ourselves is just to cage ourselves and to-
especially mentally.
Mentally. That's where the. Now I listen to Sheun Kuti
Yeah.
a lot.
That one is a psychedelic expert,
Now-
so he knows.
People think that guy is crazy.
He's not. He is not.
Actually, some people actually believed his exposure Utijeku Yawiri. But sometimes when he speaks, he's talking about things, how our society is going to be in probably 30 years now because
He's
of
very
what we are
vast, then
doing
he's-
now.
yeah.
And he's able to link what we are doing now to why we are doing it the way we are doing
He's
it.
very vast in he's very vast in history.
So-
So very vast in history. Yeah. And it's somebody that gets eye a whole lot. So
And
his reasoning is
some people
top
see
notch.
him as probably he has interest in politics, and they do not understand that actually his interest is more in human
being, yeah. Yeah.
Because if we get that right, people like him shouldn't be on the. He's got a job. He's got a career.
What's going on will never even stop because it's just the way the world is meant to work. It's never meant to be balanced. Nobody's ever going to be so aware or good or just
No.
No. Like my Oga used to tell me,
Yeah.
right? Like Kabasa used to say, like Kabasa would tell you, nothing is good and nothing is wrong, nothing is bad. It depends on your perspective.
It's now it's now less for people to listen to things like this and decide should I still follow the head of
Should I try it?
Let me
Should I see? And that is how I got here today. It's
And-
always about okay, these things they are saying. Why can't I try it
Why
and
can't I
see?
just see?
Let me see how it
No
works.
harm.
It does it make sense, or is it Then at the point as I was growing, I began to see new things, understand new things. Then people you get there is Professor Carl. What's his name? There's one professor.
Marx?
No, it's not Karl Marx. There's one professor in MIT that came to talk about heroin.
Oh.
And I listened to him and I was like, what the hell? This is a professor that has a bunch of students and he was saying it in his speech that he uses heroin on a regular basis. And this is why, and this is how, and this is where to get the right one. Most of the things you get that you call heroin is diluted, is crap, is bullshit. If you take it, you're going to die. It's going to destroy your life. But why don't you go to Colombia and get the real one and try it and see how it's going to change your life? And this is a professor. And in as much as I know people that their life has gone gaga based on this thing, right? I still listen to him and I feel like, so who is telling the truth? It's what is right and what is wrong.
Actually, you said who is telling the truth?
Yeah.
That's his own truth. It's our responsibility to find out as well.
Find your
Individual.
Yeah.
Because me,
Yeah.
all this protein shake we were talking earlier,
Mm-hmm.
I found the herbs. It's called moringa for me. It works. I don't drink coffee. If I
Moringa.
need moringa in the morning, I'm good to go. And it's just leaves. And moringa in Nigeria, it grows by itself.
And there's a lot of moringa in Nigeria. A lot.
So there are so many things out
And
there
we
that
too
we can
just
find.
herbs.
Oh,
And
well,
roots.
at a point, I wouldn't mind, but I
Even
wouldn't.
mushrooms is not even chemically induced. It is something that still grows from this same
Do
ground.
you know that mushroom you've been mentioning, I used to, while walking, I used to think these guys are just messing about. I've never seen one.
That's the thing.
But me, I love
Yes,
eating
his
mushroom.
name is Professor Carl Hart. Dr. Carl Hart. His name is Carl Hart. Listen to him.
Baba, you've gone really deep
Bro.
in.
Just listen to him. Then you start to question everything you've learned, everything they've told you.
Baba, do you know at a point, about 3 years ago, I stumbled on this DVD made by these American guys. It's called, I remember it now. Eden Colors.
Eden Colors. I think I've seen it.
So I've got
I think I've
one,
seen
two.
it.
They've done the 5.
Yeah, I think I've
But
seen. I've seen
I have
one.
the 5. I don't have the 4.
Oh.
That was where the journey started for me. You know, as a redeemed boy, played drums here. I went over there, played drums to survive. First year in UK.
You played drums very well.
But I've stopped.
Yeah.
You know, like gigs everywhere and all of that. But when I got involved in the politics of the church, I was badly hurt. And I realized that actually I wasn't prepared. I wasn't informed enough.
Yeah.
I was placing loyalty on the table where
there's no loyalty needed. Everybody is on their game, but I felt victim of such too. You know, I was playing loyalty when everybody is on their game.
And that was where I got to understand the difference between love and loyalty, and why some people would choose because love is an emotion. Loyalty is a decision. Because it's deeper. I say there's 2 types of poverty. There's poverty you don't have money, and there's poverty of the mind. Because the issue they call devil is not the same. Nigeria is like circus show. Kini English eru. Ironi. Kiwani wofa. The way we behave, the way we think. What's a program, man?
My name is Jahbless.